Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you are new around here, my name is Michael, and if you are not so new around here, welcome back. I've been a little bit MIA recently. I haven't been like on my game posting wise, and I apologize for that. But I thought I would do a Q&A today, just sit down and like kind of chat with you guys. I have done several Q&As in the past on postpartum, being a new mom, birth, like just a bunch of random things. I love answering your guys' questions, so I haven't done one in a while, and I thought, why not? There's a lot of things that have changed in my life this year, so yeah, we're gonna just sit down and I'm gonna answer your guys' questions. I posted on my Instagram to just ask me whatever you wanted. Nothing was off limits, so I'm just gonna go from the top. What month was the hardest with Lucy? So Lou is 11 months right now. She will be 1 in 2.5 weeks, which is just like wild to think about. I think for us, 3 months was probably like the hardest, I think. She just was like, at night, it was so bad. She was so cranky. Oh, actually 9 months. 9 months was the hardest because she went through a phase where she did not want anyone except for me. 3 months and 9 months were the hardest, but I think 9 months wins because that girl was attached to me 24/7. It was crazy. Weirdest pregnancy craving. I didn't have any weird pregnancy cravings. My cravings were like McDonald's and Mexican food. And that's like pretty much it. Did I have postpartum hair loss? Yes, I did. And I don't know if you can kind of see it, but like my little baby hairs are just wild, like right by my face. Like it was not like that before I had Lou. Like it was crazy. But I will say, my hair has grown so much since I had her. Like, it's insane. Does Lucy look like how you thought she was going to look when she was in your belly? This is like my favorite picture. I would literally just stare at it all the time. And it's crazy because like she looks like this. Do you know what I mean? But like when I looked at this photo when I was still pregnant, I would like try and imagine what she was gonna look like, and it was just like so weird to see her in person. But she doesn't look like what I thought she would. I thought she would have like pitch black hair and be like have darker skin than she does, and I thought she was gonna be much hairier, like on her back and stuff. She came out, oh, I also thought she was gonna have brown eyes. She came out with like light brown hair, blue eyes, fairer skin, and she has stayed like that, and that was definitely not how I thought she was gonna come out. What was Lucy's first word? I think her first word was like hi. She, like I said, she's almost 1, and she says hi, bye, mama, dada, la la. I think that's it. Do you feel mom guilt over things? 100%. I feel mom guilt whenever when she's with her dad, I don't feel mom guilt because like she's with her parent, you know what I mean? But when I like ask my mom to watch her or like my grandparents to watch her, I definitely feel mom guilt because even though it takes a village and they love watching her and spending time with her, it just makes me feel like, ugh, I should be there and I should have her instead. But like, I just have to remind myself I'm a better mom when I have breaks and take time for myself. And she enjoys like being with her grandparents. Like she doesn't want to be with me all the time. And I just have to remind myself of that. Did you feel like you lost yourself? How did you get yourself back? I don't know if this question is like just in motherhood in general or pregnancy or postpartum specific, but I will say that when I was pregnant, I was not myself, truly. And I think that there was a lot of, I think if my circumstances would have been a little bit different, pregnancy wouldn't have been as hard. But I was like just finding myself and just starting to gain confidence in myself when I found out that I was pregnant. And then, I mean, pregnancy was just insanely difficult and so hard. And I definitely felt like I lost myself. But then once I had Lou, I truly feel like this is like what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm a good mom. I know I'm a good mom. And like honestly I'm like kind of killing it. Like I have a lot of help and support, but I feel the most like myself I ever have. Do you have any mom friends? I do not have mom friends in real life. Like I don't have any mom friends that live by me, but I have like tons of online mom friends that I keep up with, and we like text and FaceTime, and I love that. How are you mentally after having a baby? Mentally, I am so much better than I have ever been. I'm the most confident, sure of myself version of me that I have ever been. And I truly think it's just because like I made a human and I take care of that human every single day of my life. Like that's insane. Like I am truly the coolest person that's ever existed. Like I am the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Like my confidence is just skyrocketed. What's it like working and having a child? I only work part-time. Like I literally work 20 hours a week. So it's not that like crazy. I love it. I love my job. I'm a barista. So I get to make people coffee all day. I work with my best friends. I love my regulars. Like my job is truly like ideal, and I only miss, you know, a couple hours every other day with my baby, and I love it. What's your favorite part of motherhood so far? What are you looking forward to the most? My favorite part so far is just like getting to spend time with her and like watching her grow. I know everything about her, and that's like the coolest feeling, to just know everything about a person and get to watch them every single day learn something new. Like it's so fun, and I love the fact that like I'm her mom, and like she wants me and comes to me and smiles when I, you know, walk in the room. Like I just love it. And I'm most looking forward to getting to teach her things, I think. Like that's just my favorite part of all of this. And I'm so excited for her to like come home from school and ask me questions and like, you know, want to do things with me. Like I'm just so excited for that phase of life, and I know like it's, you know, far in the future, but I think that's what I'm most excited for and looking forward to. Somebody said, how do you turn the pain of birth into something positive? Personally, my birth experience was really, really positive, and I'm so thankful for that. I loved giving birth. I want to do it 100 million times if I never had to be pregnant. And I think that it's just about like retraining your mind. You know, when you have pain because you broke your arm or something, like that sucks and it's just painful. When you have pain because you're giving birth, like the pain is eventually going to end, and it's going to lead to this like amazing thing, if that makes sense. So that's what I just thought in my mind. Like people say like every contraction is bringing me closer to my baby, that type of like mindset, and just like restructuring that. It's just about reworking how you think about the pain of birth. Somebody asked why we stopped breastfeeding. I stopped breastfeeding about a week before her 11 months came up. And truly it was just because she is spending a lot more time with her dad, and you know, I'm at work. So my supply was gradually decreasing just because I wasn't nursing her as much, and I just didn't keep up with it. If I wanted to, I, you know, really could have and pumped while I was missing those feedings with her, but it just felt like time for the both of us. It was a really, really simple, easy, kind of gradual thing, and I'm thankful for it. I think next time, my goal was to get past 1 year, and I was a month short. But I think next time I definitely want to try to make it to a year, but it was just the circumstances of it all, and I'm really, really proud of our journey and like how far we got, and it was a beautiful experience, and I do miss it. But are we still cloth diapering? I get this question literally all the time, and no, we are not. I kind of just like fell off of cloth diapering, and like with her being at her dad's house and, you know, me being at work, it's just, we just kind of stopped. And I don't know, I want to start getting back into it again, but I just don't know if we will. I'm kind of going between like, do we start again, or do I just sell my collection to like a mom who wants it? I don't know. That's where we're at right now. Did I ever think of not having Lou? Yes, 100%. When I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I can't do this. There's literally no way. And her dad was just like, I will do this whether you want the baby or not. And I just knew that like I would be a good mom and I wanted to have a baby. And of course I'm glad that I had my daughter. Like, I love her. I couldn't imagine it any other way. But there was definitely a part of me that was like, there's no way that I can do this. And there's still a part of me now that's like, oh my God, like what would my life be like if I wouldn't have had a baby? You know what I mean? How was it when you were breastfeeding and her teeth were coming in? So we had a really rough patch around 6 months when she got her first 2 teeth, and she was biting a lot because it was new. She'd never had, you know, like little teeth in her mouth before. So I had a lot of anxiety about feeding her, and she, like I said, she was just biting a lot because it was like new and she was trying to figure it out and her gums were hurting and whatever. So for about a week, I was like pumping and giving her bottles instead of nursing her. And then I was just really cautious of like, if I felt like she was getting tired, she was getting ornery while she was feeding, I would just like remove her from the boob and like give her a bottle if needed. And the times that she did bite me, I would just like take her off and like let her calm down, and then we would like go back to it. There was a couple times where I mean, it's like painful. I did like yell. One time I flicked her on the forehead because it hurt, and she stopped. And then eventually, like as she was getting other teeth, she didn't bite anymore because she just like understood. How do you get over the anxiety of being away from your baby? It was really, really hard at first. I would say just like gradually work into it. You know what I mean? Like if the longest you can be gone from your baby is an hour, be gone for an hour and then come back. And then next time do 2 hours and then 3 hours. You know what I mean? And I was kind of lucky because when she started going over to her dad's house, especially like spending the night with her dad, I had already left her with grandma for a night here or there. So I was a little bit like more comfortable with it. Of course, there's still anxiety, and you know, the first time like he took her on like a little vacation was like really stressful. The first time I went on a little vacation was really stressful, but you just get used to it. You get a little more comfortable. The anxiety is always going to be there, but I just feel like it kind of lessens every time, you know, you work your way up a little bit. Advice for someone who wants to get pregnant but has struggled with an eating disorder. I will say just like having a really good support team around you is very important. I would also say something that was like a little bit triggering to me that I kind of had to talk to my doctor about was he would bring up my weight. Like in the beginning, I wasn't gaining very much weight because I was so sick, and then he was worried about it because I wasn't gaining weight and I'm pregnant, like you need to gain weight. So I just had to tell him like it was causing me a lot of anxiety, and I was just like, look, I've struggled a lot with this, and I would just prefer if we could just, if it's really not that severe, it's just not something that we need to discuss. And he was very understanding of that. And then, you know, like when you get weighed at the doctor, just like, you know, telling them, oh, I don't need to know, thank you so much. Not really paying attention to that. One of the hard things for me, more so when I was breastfeeding than I was pregnant, was just like there's such an emphasis on getting enough calories and eating enough food to, you know, support you and your baby. And it was just like, it started to really get to me. It was just a lot of stress. I was putting a lot of focus on food, which is something that I don't like to do because it puts me in a really negative headspace and it's a little bit triggering. So just having people around you to be like, here's a snack, or like, do you want me to go grab you something? Or here's your, you know, here's your dinner. Just bringing things to you or offering food to you so that way you don't have to like constantly be like worrying about it. Again, that's just having like a great support system around you that's like gonna be as helpful as they can. What piece of advice would you have given yourself before becoming a mom? Probably just to stand my ground. That's still something that I struggle with a little bit, is not being as firm as I want to be sometimes, especially with family. So, did you do anything to induce labor? If so, what are your tips and tricks? I was just like walking as much as I could. I went on like a mile walk the day that I went into labor. It hurts, but it is really helpful just to get baby down and to get things like kind of moving, but also resting. Resting is really important for your body. So if you need it, take it, but if you can walk, it's good for you. Where did you do most of your research for parenting, or do you just go with the flow? Honestly, I just kind of go with the flow. I have been like a nanny for a really long time. I have a little brother that I grew up with. I have, you know, an older sister and older cousins that I was always around who have kids. And I just like picked up here and there what I like and dislike about different parenting styles. And I just kind of go with what like feels right for me. And I try to be very like non-judgmental of how other people are doing it. You know, for me personally, I have very set things about like screen time, for example, or I don't know, like toys that she plays with, where like other parents kind of don't, and that's totally fine. It's just what I feel is best for the way I parent and my baby. How was breastfeeding for you? How did you keep up your supply for that long? Breastfeeding was amazing. I loved it. I highly encourage it to anyone who is thinking about it. I kept up my supply. I kept up my supply by just feeding on demand. I think having a schedule works for some people, but when you're just feeding your child whenever they want to eat, you know, your milk is going to come in as the baby needs it, as long as you're properly hydrated and nourished. And yeah, so that's how I kept up with it. And also trying not to stress about it. Breastfeeding was something that was like really stressful for me in the beginning, because I was like, what if my supply goes down? What if this? What if that? Again, it's just something that you have to kind of go with the flow with, because when you're stressed, it's not going to be good for you or baby. How do you feel now that you're not breastfeeding? Honestly, like I said, I really miss it. It was such a beautiful experience. There's some days that I really wish that I could go back and, you know, do it for longer. But I'm also glad that I have the freedom now to, you know, I'm not like leaking ever, or I don't have to worry about how much caffeine I'm intaking. That was something that was like so annoying. I can have as many cups of coffee as I want now, and it's like beautiful. I don't have to put so much pressure on my diet, which like I really wasn't there at the end for those last couple of months. But yeah, it's just like not as much pressure, which is like really nice. How did you deal with the friends aspect? I think you mean of like having a baby. I didn't have a lot of friends like going into my pregnancy. I feel like honestly, I have made more friends now that I am a mom, just by like meeting people on the internet. But all of my friends that I have, you know, when they found out that I was pregnant, they were excited. They love spending time with Lucy. Like none of my friends were upset, and I still like prioritize spending time with them. Now my baby just comes with me, and they love it because they get to see her and hang out with her. And then when I'm not, you know, when I don't have her, I spend time with them. I never really understand that question. Like if somebody stops being my friend because I have a baby, then like why would I want them in my life anyways? You know what I mean? I don't know. What's my favorite Harry Styles song? Mine is Adore You. That's a really good one. If you couldn't tell, Two Ghosts is my favorite song. This is one of my Harry Styles tattoos. I have another one right here on my arm and another one on my leg. But I think Two Ghosts is my favorite. It's just so good, and it's about Taylor Swift, who is my queen. I don't know, but I'm very excited for Harry's House to come out because I know that there's going to be banger after banger on that album. Second child, question mark. I definitely want to have another baby at some point, but I don't want to have another baby until I am married and living on a farm and don't have to work. That is when I will have another kid. And if that never happens, then I probably won't ever have another baby, which is fine. Future plans for the next year or two. Wow. I don't really know. There's like so many different things that could happen, to be quite completely honest. In the next year or two, I definitely want to move out. I would like to have Lou and I's own space. I would like to be in a relationship. Who knows if that's gonna actually happen. I would like to be still pursuing content creation and working as a doula. And I would like to be more spiritual. That's something that I'm really working on. That's a big goal of mine, because I feel like connecting with myself spiritually is going to be important, especially as Lucy gets older. I want her to grow up seeing her mom, you know, being a spiritual person. So How do you feel about relationships right now? Is it something that you want or later on? A couple months ago when you would have asked me this, I would have said that I don't want a serious relationship. I'm not looking for that. I just got out of that. I don't want that. But I think now, because I have a daughter and don't feel like a typical young person that like wants to go out and party, I do just like want to find my person and be with that person. And I hate dating. I think it's so annoying and so stupid. And I truly believe that like when my person is meant to come into my life, they will come into my life, and like, you know, everything happens for a reason and yada yada yada. But I do definitely want to find and be in, you know, a serious relationship when that person comes into my life. How is co-parenting doing? Oh, the $1 million question. Co-parenting is fine. It's definitely hard. I understand why the Christians say wait till marriage, because like this shit sucks. Not that you can't like co-parent when, you know, even if you've been married and have a kid, but whatever. Anyways, it was a funny joke, haha. Yeah, no, it's hard. It's really difficult. I just have to remind myself that like I need to do what's best for my daughter and put my feelings aside, and that is what I'm trying to do. I struggle with anxiety during pregnancy. I'm happy, but I'm so stressed. Yes, I had so much anxiety during pregnancy. I had a lot of anxiety in the beginning about like losing the baby. I had a lot of anxiety in the beginning about not gaining enough weight because I was so sick. Towards the end, I had a little bit of anxiety just about giving birth. You know, I wanted everything to go well. Just like normal things. I think it's important to remind yourself that like you're growing a human, and that's scary and that's okay. But it's also like very beautiful, and you have to give yourself... Sorry, my camera stopped recording. Somebody asked, is Lucy walking yet? She is not, but I think she will start very soon. She's been standing up on her own, which is like exciting. Did you ever go through any postpartum anxiety or depression? No, I was very thankful to feel more like myself after having the baby. I think I definitely had like pregnancy anxiety and depression for sure. If you could date any character from one of the Colleen Hoover books, who would it be? Either Ben or Miles, and I'm gonna get so much hate for that. And I feel like everybody probably says, what's his name from It Ends With Us? Lily, and I'll put it up here because I can't remember. I feel like everybody says him, but like, love him, but he's not my favorite. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, first time peeing after birth, did it hurt? Yeah, but it gets easier. It gets harder before it gets easier, but it's not awful. You get used to it. Where do I get Lucy's clothes? She gets a lot of clothes from Target and like Walmart. I also really like thrifting her clothes, like going just to Goodwill. I do order some stuff here and there off of Amazon, but how do you get literally anything done during the day with a baby? When Lou was really small, I would just put her in the carrier, and that's how I would get things done. Now I just put her on the ground and she runs around, and every 5 seconds I have to go and like, you know, take her away from something that could be potentially dangerous. And that's how I get stuff done. I also try to get a lot done while she's sleeping, because she does nap in her crib. How do you stay positive all the time despite everything that's going on? I don't. I definitely let myself cry and get sad and get angry sometimes, but I feel like that's also very important to like feel those emotions and let them out when you need to. But I also just remind myself that like everything happens for a reason, and I truly, truly believe in that. A first date goes shitty, one step closer to your person. Lucy has a bad day, just means I got extra cuddles that day. A customer yells at me at work. They are probably having a really rough day and they just needed somebody to tell them to like let it out. You know what I mean? Like everything happens for a reason, and that is important to remember. Also, karma. I truly believe in karma. And if you're gonna be mean to me, I don't need to be mean back to you. You know what? The universe is gonna return that shit. And as long as I'm kind, I'm gonna get kindness. Do you know what I mean? Favorite book at the moment? Ugly Love, for sure. I mean, besides the Addicted to You series, but whatever. Hi, do you ever get frustrated with Lou? How do you cope? Yeah, I get frustrated with my kid all the time. She's a fucking menace, like hello. I just like take a step back, hand her off to somebody else if I can, and like recoup, or like put her down for a nap and just like breathe. You know what I mean? What are ways that you do self-care to balance life with a baby? Watching a movie by myself, going and hanging out with friends, you know, leaving Lou with her dad or grandma or whatever. That's mainly what I do, is like going and being with my friends without the baby. But watching a movie, doing laundry, taking a shower, it's just like little things that I can do by myself that really change how I feel and like count as self-care. And I think that's it. If I didn't answer your question, I'm really sorry. I tried to get through as many as I could. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will definitely answer them. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you like hanging out. I think next week's video is gonna be me reacting to my birth vlog, which I literally haven't watched since I posted it a year ago, which is like insanity. But I'm super excited about it. I love you guys. I hope you come back in a couple weeks for Lucy's birthday vlog. That will be very exciting. I love you guys.